It was one of those nights when the world seemed to have turned its back on her. The cold air bit into her skin as she pulled her thin sweater tighter around her frail body. She sat at the old wooden bench at the bus stop, her breath visible in the night air. People walked past her, some glancing, most ignoring her existence. To them, she was invisible, just another soul down on her luck. But what they didn't know was that she wasn't just cold, she was lost, broken, and alone. And then, in the middle of that freezing silence, a little voice shattered the darkness. A small boy, no more than 6 or 7, tugged on her sleeve. His eyes, wide, innocent, and filled with something she hadn't felt in years, looked straight into her heart. "Can you be my mommy?" he whispered. "Yes, my friends, that's where everything changed. Stay with me till the very end of this story because what happened next is something that will stay in your heart forever. And if you believe in kindness, love, and second chances, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, so together, we can keep spreading stories that touch the soul. Her name was Alina. Just a year ago, she had everything, a stable job, a small apartment, and dreams that seemed within reach. But fate has a way of testing the strongest of spirits. First, her mother's illness drained her savings. Then, after countless late arrivals from hospital visits, her employer let her go. Rent piled up, and before she knew it, she was standing outside her apartment with her belongings stuffed in a single bag. Friends who promised to be there vanished, one by one. And so, the bus stop became her refuge. The boy who stood before her was shivering too, though his jacket was a little thicker. His small hands clutched a worn teddy bear, one eye missing, fur faded from years of love. Alina blinked, stunned by his words. "What did you say?" she asked softly, her voice shaking. The boy bit his lip and looked down. "I don't have a mommy anymore. Daddy says she's in heaven. But I want one. I want someone to tuck me in, someone to smile at me. Can you be my mommy?" Alina's throat tightened. She wanted to cry, to scream, to tell him that she couldn't even take care of herself. But how could she say no to those eyes, to that trembling voice that carried more loneliness than her own? Just then, a man rushed over. He looked exhausted, his suit wrinkled, tie loose, and his face pale with worry. "Liam," he called out, kneeling down to the boy. "I told you not to run off." The boy pointed to Alina. "Daddy, this lady. I want her to be my mommy." The man froze. His eyes flickered to Alina, confusion flashing across them. He noticed her thin sweater, her trembling hands, the way she sat like she had nowhere else to go. He straightened slowly, unsure of what to say. "I'm sorry," he muttered quickly. He misses his mom. She passed away last year." He doesn't understand yet, but Liam wouldn't let go of Alina's hand. His tiny fingers clung to hers like he'd found something he was missing all along. For days after that, Alina thought of that moment. She thought of the boy's hopeful eyes, of how her empty nights had suddenly been filled with the echo of his words, "Can you be my mommy?" She had walked away that night, but a piece of her heart stayed behind. Life pushed her harder. She tried to find work, but with no address and no decent clothes, every door closed in her face. Hunger gnawed at her, and some nights she cried herself to sleep on the bench. But one evening, as snowflakes fell quietly, she saw them again. The same man, the same little boy. This time, the man approached her. "You're still here?" he asked softly, his voice carrying a mixture of guilt and concern. Alina lowered her gaze. "I don't have anywhere else." He hesitated, then sat beside her. "I'm Daniel," he said, extending his hand. "That's Liam." She smiled faintly and shook his hand. Alina. Over time, Daniel began to visit the bus stop with warm drinks, sometimes food. Liam would sit beside her, chattering endlessly, showing her his drawings, telling her about school. And slowly, Alina felt warmth return to her frozen world. But it wasn't easy. Daniel had his own struggles. He was a widower, trying to balance his demanding job with raising his son alone. He felt guilty every day for not being enough, for not giving Liam the love and attention his wife once did. And now, here was Alina, a woman with nothing, yet somehow she brought laughter back to his boy's face. One night, as snow turned the city white, Daniel spoke honestly. "I don't know why Liam chose you. But I can't deny it, he smiles more when you're around. Maybe you needed him as much as he needed you." Tears filled Alina's eyes. For the first time in months, someone saw her not as a failure, not as a burden, but as someone who still mattered. Daniel offered her a chance. A small job at his office, cleaning in the evenings. It wasn't much, but it was enough to help her stand again. And as days turned into weeks, Alina slowly rebuilt her life. She found shelter, then clothes, then courage. But more than anything, she found family. Liam never stopped